Namaskar students, and welcome back to Akhara Study. Today, we are exploring a deeply moving chapter in your Class 10 English syllabus, The Passing Away of Bapu by Nayantara Sehgal. The story begins on an entirely ordinary evening. It's January 30th, 1948. The author is sitting at home, having a quiet cup of tea, when the telephone rings with an urgent message. The news is devastating. Mahatma Gandhi, Bapu, has been shot while on his way to a prayer meeting. Numb with shock, Sehgal gets into her car. When she arrives here at Birla House, she finds Gandhi's relatives and closest followers gathered in absolute silence around his body as he breathes his last. Outside that room, the news rips through Delhi. Sehgal notes that the words of Bapu's death spread like a flame fanned by wind. Soon, sad groups of men and women collect around Birla House. Out of every window, the author sees a dense, motionless crowd, a brown blur of faces. Nobody makes a sound. Time seems to stand completely still. This unnatural silence occasionally breaks into a whimper, with people asking, "What will become of me now that he has left me?" The people of India are suddenly without their leader, sitting shocked and grieving, looking exactly like lost children. The next day, that stunned silence shatters into a wild clamor. Hours before the funeral procession is scheduled to begin, thousands of weeping people line the route, desperately trying to push their way forward just to touch Bapu's feet. It is impossible to move in the thick crowd. Gandhi lays on an open truck, completely covered in flowers, slowly making its way through an absolute ocean of grieving citizens. Among the mourners is Padmasi, the daughter of the prominent independence activist Sarojini Naidu. She speaks for the crowd with a simple, resonant declaration. They will walk. It is the last time they will ever walk with Bapu. For Gandhi, walking held a deep philosophical weight. It required no vehicle. It cost the average Indian nothing but their own physical energy. He took a commonplace necessity like walking and transformed it into a joyful collective effort. To walk is to make slow progress. It forces you to think with clarity and closely observe everything around you, from the smallest insects at your feet to the distant horizon. Millions had walked with Bapu over the rough and smooth terrain of India's recent history. But now, without him leading the way, the physical act of moving forward feels agonizing. Every step of this march now carries the crushing weight of a nation's collective physical grief. A few days later, the physical mourning begins to transition into spiritual remembrance. A special train is arranged to take Gandhi's ashes to Allahabad. The atmosphere on the train shifts entirely. The compartments are decked out in vibrant flowers. Instead of weeping, the people sing bhajans, devotional songs. The tears stop because, amid the songs and the blooms, the crowd can tangibly feel Gandhi's enduring presence. The train reaches Allahabad, where an immense, sorrowful crowd has gathered along the banks. Amidst prayer and song, Bapu's ashes are finally immersed into the waters of the Ganges. Returning to Delhi, Sehgal faces a harsh personal reality. She feels entirely at sea. For years, she had felt protected, growing up inside what she calls a magic circle. Now, with Bapu gone, that barrier has fractured, leaving her feeling exposed and alone. She begins to question herself. How could she lose courage so easily? She wonders if her values are weak, or worse, if Bapu had lived and died for nothing. She realizes that millions of people, herself included, could have remained mere onlookers to history, ordinary and unconcerned. But Bapu had reached them, forcing a nation to finally look at the suffering of others and acknowledge it as their own. The physical man has passed away, but the people he awakened are still there, young, strong, and deeply proud to carry his banner forward. Bapu's India will continue to live on in his children. To fully master this chapter for your Class 10 WBBSE exams, re-watch this breakdown and pay close attention to how Nayantara Sehgal connects her personal grief to the entire nation's loss. If this helped you understand the passing away of Bapu, hit the like button, share it with your classmates, and be sure to subscribe to the Akhara Study channel for more syllabus breakdowns. See you in the next lesson.